Get ready, boys.
Coming up on the DLLS Stars Pregame Show, one more game before the Olympic break. We're almost there. And then a whole bunch of time without Stars hockey, but there'll be plenty of Stars playing hockey. We're not going to talk about that tonight. We will talk about Stars and Blues and a huge trade in the NHL today. Luds is here. Ryan's here. I'm here. So let's get it started. Pregame Show starts right now. This is the DLLS Stars Pregame Show alongside Craig Ludwig and our producer Ryan Vaughters. I'm Owen Newkirk. Thanks for joining us tonight. And we have a bunch to get to. But before we do, first and foremost, we need to talk to you about a brand new DLLS Die Hard sale. In fact, it's all citywide. This isn't just DLLS, but we're DLLS. It is the Big Game Die Hard sale. 60% off the annual membership for your first year. If you haven't done it already, $32 for your first year, for year one. You have to be new subscribers to do this. Plus, you get a free t-shirt of your choice. The regular price of the Die Hard membership for a year is $79.99. So that is a huge savings. Great time to get all the best coverage from the big game, because out there in San Francisco right now is the DLS Cowboys podcast. They are doing stuff every day. Clarence, Jesse, Jeff, our buddy John, even though Lud says he's dead to him. That's right, producer John. He's out there. They are cranking out the content. So check them out. Scan the QR code below Lud's right now, and you can sign up to be a diehard if you've never done it before for a big game savings this week. All right. Excuse me, Luds, before we get into Stars Blues tonight, we have to talk about a trade because it happened. We knew.
Bukestad?
Oh. As a matter of fact, Bukestad did get traded today.
Where was he before that?
He was in St. Louis.
Yeah.
He got traded today. In fact, I was one of their equipment guys.
Beginning of it. Beginning of the
that
crumble.
that was what started the domino. So
Maybe.
We had heard rumblings that the Rangers really wanted to move Artemi Panarin before the roster freeze, which went into effect today at 2 p.m. Eastern time for the, I think it was 2, or maybe it was 2 Central time, for the Winter Olympic break. So teams cannot make trades. You can still negotiate extensions, but this is the trade. Artemi Panarin is now a member of the LA Kings. I'm guessing he's not playing tonight against Seattle because that would be a long flight and whatever. But Panarin will be an LA King for the rest of this year, and he then signed an extension. So you can see on the screen, New York Rangers get Liam Greentree. That was who they believe was their number one prospect in the system. He's currently a Canadian junior player. They get a conditional 3rd-round pick and a conditional 4th in 2028. And the Rangers retain 50% of this year's salary. So that makes Panarin a little bit better. Now, Luds, this deal, they said that he was getting traded and they were negotiating an extension, but then when the Kings announced it, they announced it all together. And so I'm wondering, do you think, well, first of all, is this enough if you're the New York Rangers and their fans? And do you think this is enough considering they have extended him for 2 more years?
It doesn't sound like it is. I mean, but, Panarin's in the driver's seat. He was the one that's going to. The only thing for me is, why did they nail it down to it had to be done before the Olympic break? Like, why wouldn't you want to give yourself time if you're not getting? Because this seemed to be, it sounds like it was the only one that would give him any kind of an extension, which was only a couple of years, which is odd for me too. But he got his $11 million or whatever that is. I think he's making something about that.
Yeah, I want to say right around that.
But yeah, the return. I mean, it seems to me like especially on the Rangers side, by saying you want to get this deal done before the break starts and not giving you a better window to possibly have some more teams jump in during the break and have a conversation about it, maybe you get a different, bigger return than one player that you probably won't see for another 2 or 3 years play. So anyway, they pull the trigger on it. And then the other thing for me is I don't know what he's adding to L.A.
I mean, he's an over a point a game guy since he joined the Rangers in 2019-20.
Yeah, and the thing is now at the end of this year, Andrei Kopitar is going to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
So now that leaves the team.
Does that is this you think an attempt to try to fill that void short term?
I just wonder, and sometimes you wonder, is this about just LA making sure they get into the playoffs, which I don't know that you give up pieces just to make, to get into the first round and lose. I who knows? Maybe they'll be better than they just seem to be one of those middling teams for me. So I don't think they have any aspirations or belief that they're going to win the Stanley Cup. But they get an electric kind of player. Maybe that's what it is. He's a big player. He is fun to watch. He can set people up. LA probably is at the bottom 3 teams in the league as far as goals scored this year.
Yep.
So I don't know who he's passing it to. And again, like I said, they do have one. We talked about it before the show started. Quentin Byfield. They've got to find a way to get that guy going. That's the guy I think they were kind of hoping. I don't know if they want to say jump into the shoes of Kopitar.
He's the power forward they think they can build around.
Yeah.
Right. He's the young sort of, I could be Jamie Benn in his prime soon. Yeah. With his skill set.
Yeah.
Big, strong, fast, can score.
Kenny's been around, he's been around for a long time. So it's not like he doesn't know what he's doing. So I think that they've made the move that was best for them. And they were obviously willing to give him the money for the couple of years, and so they're happy with it. And I don't know if it's going to make a big deal here coming down the stretch and especially into the playoffs, but we'll see.
So Panarin had a 7-year, $81.5 million contract that he signed as a free agent in 2019-2020 with the Rangers, $11.64 million AAV cap hit. So this is a slight discount, but he's 34 now.
Yep.
And he'll be 36 when that deal gets to completion.
But he's still a magician with the puck, and again, for me, it's going to be the pieces around him. And then they'll probably have a good line and a half, good 2 lines. But it doesn't really change a ton. But we'll see. Like I said, maybe he's been good everywhere he's been.
Yeah.
Any place he's been a great player. So, but again, like you said, at 33, 34 years old, how much is left in the tank? And so we'll see.
Well, let's talk about it from a Dallas perspective, because I think Jim Nill is kicking the tires on everything, because that's what a good GM does, right? It's not that they were the front runners, because from the reporting we heard, that's where Panarin wanted to go. So they were the only ones. And now maybe that you're right, that they were the only ones willing to offer an extension of the kind that he was looking for, because I kept seeing reporting this week, which was these teams are interested, but not anything more than a rental. And I think a lot of teams didn't want to give.
That's the other thing. Nobody else wanted to give him a contract.
No, especially because, they were saying 4 years might have been the ask initially. I mean, do you want to give 40 or 50 million to a guy that's going to be in his late 30s?
No, but my point is if you didn't have that timeline and you had this next 2 weeks to talk about it, and up until, what'd you say, was it March 3rd?
Yeah, so it's the 5th, I believe.
Maybe a couple
Friday.
more teams jump in, and then all of a sudden from his standpoint, and it, there ends up being a little, okay, we'll give you an extra year. Then you come over here.
If you knew Tyler Seguin was done for the year, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but we've talked about it before. Seguin is admirably crazy in his rehab. He's a mutant in that way, and I say that endearingly. He probably thinks he's going to play this year. Not like I've briefly talked to him. I know he plans on being back and better than ever, but I bet he thinks he plans on playoffs, maybe. If you knew he was absolutely done, then the Stars could have figured out a way with some retention to have Panarin as a rental, right?
Yeah, but they want him just as a rental?
That's my second question. My first one is that to me, you're not getting an $11 million contract in their cap space and re-signing Jason Robertson to what we assume is going to be a 10 plus, because I think 10 is his qualifying offer, somewhere in that range. So there's no way you're extending him. So even if you could convince Panarin to approve a trade to Dallas, I don't think the money works beyond a rental. Now, the follow-up question to you is, if you could get him, would you want him?
Panarin, I mean, are you saying at the expense of, let's just say over this time period that you can negotiate a contract? And Jim, for some reason, made a comment that he is not signing anybody until after the Olympics.
Yes.
Does that mean?
Do you mean not trading for anybody?
Not trading. He's not trading anybody.
Because he
wants to sign or get an agreement done with Robo.
Would that surprise you if that happened during the Olympic break?
I think that's why he made that comment about
Yep.
that. But what happens if he doesn't? Does that mean that's kind of our timeline with him when you
No.
still have him for another year?
They have him for another year of control.
So, but I just wondered if that would make a difference.
That becomes a talking point.
Yeah, and but you don't want that.
No.
Nobody wants that. Robo doesn't want that.
I don't think the team wants that at all.
All it ends up being is a distraction.
Yes.
That's all it is.
But they don't really have the pressure of that deadline until next season's fiscal year gets going, which is after this playoff season ends.
Yeah.
I could totally be talked into Panarin as a rental. I just don't see how he would have fit beyond that with the cap space you have around, right?
And I don't I know
unless you moved on from Jason Robertson, I don't think that's a good idea.
That would probably not be smart, especially saying in a couple of years from now he's going to be 36 years old.
I mean, you got a guy in his
mid-20s
versus a guy that's in his mid-30s. And look, Panarin is a marquee, big table player, but that doesn't mean that you give away.
I mean, and we like Ritzy Ritz, but
Panarin
Panarin might look good right there. Plug him in up there. But
here's
the other thing.
Him on the other side of Hinson.
Okay,
Robertson
so
too.
here's the bigger problem. Not a problem. Maybe it's a good problem to have. He's going to be at the second power play. Who are you taking off the first power play?
Why would you mess with the number 2 ranked power play?
Even if you wanted to mess with it, who would you take off? Who would you take off that power play? Unless you want to go 5 forwards.
That's an interesting, because hasn't Panarin done that before?
That's scary to me. You got guys that want to, when you want to saucer it through the box and tic-tac-toe around, and you've got a forward back there.
You thought they passed enough as it is.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be interesting to think about.
Would you take off that power play?
I have no idea. You don't take Robo. You don't take Wyatt.
You definitely don't take.
You're not taking 96. Are you taking Hintz off? Are you taking? I mean, who are you taking? Miro off? What are you doing?
Hintz is so good as a retrieval guy.
Yeah, who do you take off? So Panarin would basically be. Well, it doesn't mean one of those guys would be on the second unit with not enough tools around them to probably be effective.
It's a really good thought exercise. You'd have to have Panarin with Matt Duchene and Thomas Harley as your second power play. I mean, it's an absurd embarrassment of riches in a way, but. Does that really make sense? Because we talked a while ago, and you said you want to make a big splash. Go get Panarin. But the more and more we talk about it, I don't.
I was drinking that day. I said that though.
Like, let's say you did it, and you said we're going to give him an extension, and now that means we may have to trade Jason Robertson, which I don't think they should do. But if in this exercise, are you giving up Maverick Bourque to then also give up essentially Jason Robertson after this year, or? Because of cap problems.
You mean if you got Panarin, would you give up Bourque? Is that what you're saying?
They
would be asking for that.
Right, but I mean, they took Greentree. Maybe they asked for Bourque. Maybe they asked for Bischel. Who knows who their prospect would be. Well, the other picks were conditional thirds and fourth. That's not a big deal.
This is all why I said it, just for Chris Drury to say that we're going to get this done prior to the break, when you can give yourself a little more breathing room, another month almost to work some of those deals out.
And Sean was saying the other day that he talks to Jim fairly frequently. I think the comment was something like, "Why would I make the deal now if I lost 2 defense, knock on wood, in the Olympics?" Right? If you had a couple injuries on the blue line and you just use your assets to get the forward now you can't adjust. Or what happens if you lost a couple forwards and you had made a deal for a defenseman?
Well, couldn't the guy say that too? I don't want to do that because I might lose a couple guys on March 4th or March 5th.
Yep.
I mean, just because it's the Olympics.
Well, I just think the difference is that there's that injury risk of playing, those important Olympic games. So
there's injury risk.
I know.
Playing against the Avs in March too.
Yes, that's very true.
I don't know anything. I'm like Heike. I'm just going to say, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
That's Heike.
But
I'm going to get him a shirt.
It's interesting, though.
We got to get Heike a shirt. Just, I don't know. I don't know.
All right, let's talk about this one tonight. Stars and Blues next here on the DLLS Stars Pregame Show.
I don't want to go until I'm supposed to.
All right, you're in.
See, this is not my fault.
No,
I was waiting for the big banner to come across the production.
No, when I did this, it was not because of Les. I was just waiting for that screen.
Anyway, Ryan, you know what we need to do? Oh, Ryan's a little upset over there. We haven't pulled up the Otter shirt in a long time. This is the last game before the big time starts for Jake Oettinger, and so there it is. And we're still wondering, and maybe it just got tilted for him to be over Hellebuck since he outshined him a little bit the other night, but we'll find out. So there's the Jason Robo shirt. I want to say Jason Robertson.
We're not there yet.
We don't have a Robo shirt.
It's been requested.
I know.
But we don't have one yet. We also don't have a Rope Hints shirt. We just have
I was going to bring up the Finnish boys. We got to bring up the Finnish boys, the Mafia. Let's bring up the hoodie because we got 4 of them going, right? Is that 4 of them going from here?
4.
Yeah, and so, man, if you're Jim Neal, are you crossing your fingers when you got those 4 guys going?
Yes.
Possibly Wyatt. We don't know yet.
Could even be Robo.
You never know.
Holding
And
Jack
it could
Hughes
be Robo.
out of the lineup again tonight.
Yeah, I saw where Billy Guerin was kind of defending why Caulfield Robo wasn't
I saw that too.
Selected.
Was that the after hours? With
everything for me is after hours.
But it was Sportsnet. I think it was Scott Oak.
I did not see that.
Okay.
Not with him. I don't know who it was.
He was talking about those, you're not going to make everybody
happy. Yeah. And like somebody said, I don't know who said it, only one team is going to be right when this all said and done with. So, I mean, we assume that
and they will be second guessed all the time.
Anyway,
Let's talk about the Supporters Club because we talk about this a lot. True sicko level stuff. If you want to stand out in the chat right now, like Jared, I can see. Oh no, Jared doesn't have it. He just has a little crown thing on it. Stars fan 9196. That's Kendra. Hey Kendra, Ryan and I both just ate a piece of key lime cheesecake.
Is this the pie girl?
Yes. No, cheesecake.
Cheesecake. Well, pie, is that not a pie?
No, that was Wild Fork, the pies. Kendra, we just ate a piece. There's a little bit of cheesecake left.
Key lime pie or key lime cake?
It was
key lime pie?
She made the key lime cheesecake.
So key lime is a cake?
It's all pie.
Okay.
It's all pie.
I got to call a timeout here. Get those Supporters Club badges, the logos, the images, all that stuff. It would be so much fun. All right. We'll get to key lime pie later. But let's talk about Nick Bjugstad.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. So the Blues actually made a trade today, and that's almost my question. Like Nick Bjugstad is a big guy.
You know what he is?
Face-off,
kind of Radek Foxa-ish.
A little taller, maybe.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. Why do you think the Devils made this move? So Bjugstad got traded today from the Blues to the New Jersey Devils for Thomas Bordeleau, who was playing for their AHL affiliate, and a conditional 4th. Do the Devils really think they're going to make this?
Devils are a tire fire right now. Anyways, did you hear?
They're 10 points out of a playoff about
post-game?
Hughes? No, tell me about that one.
I can't believe. Well, nobody would care about that. Yeah, there's a coach that has he's very disheveled right now. So not a lot of positive stuff coming out of Jersey at this moment. So
I just don't understand why they make that move.
For Bjugstad to go there, I don't know if he's got his bells on and looking forward to this whole thing that's going on there. But
I understand why the Blues would start offloading pieces.
This is the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah, this is probably the beginning. And you never know. There is a defenseman over there we kind of like. So
Justin Falk, saw him today. Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Dad's trip for St. Louis. They were in Nashville on Monday and then Dallas here today. And they had mostly dads, couple of brothers, mentors, that kind of thing. I think Justin Falk might have had his brother with him, if I was not mistaken. But anyway, that game on Monday night for them with the dad's trip, that did not go well. So St. Louis is in Nashville to start this little 2-game road trip. They're up 5-1 early in the second period.
Kind of like the Boston-Tampa.
Like the outdoor game.
Very similar to that.
Game is well in hand until it wasn't. Nashville wins in regulation 6-5.
I did not see that. I did not watch that game.
Neither did I.
I was just wondering how red Monty's head would have been.
It couldn't. He said hi to me again today. He's always, every time he sees me when they come in, he always is. He's very nice. He comes and says hi real quick, asks me about family and stuff. He's good. I think he's in a much better place in his life, his personal life.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, except as let's just look at me like, are you kidding me? That roster? Because what he did with Boston was historic in that regular season, and then, of course, the Florida Panthers spoiled the party.
I've watched parts and the ends of the last. I didn't see that game.
Yeah.
But I've seen the ends of some other games.
Well, we had a
lately.
game we had to work, so understandable.
It's gone from where his head looked like a cherry to where there's kind of no emotion.
Was there
which
a
seems to me
point
the
when
last...
he was Patrick Waugh, red face shades?
Yeah, but that was just
that was anger.
That was upsetting. Yeah. Exactly. Now I think it's just more bewilderment. Like when you don't have an answer of how are we doing this, especially with their. Well, it actually did it pick up when the way their season ended, so to speak, with the late goal and the OT and all that other kind of stuff last year. So
yeah, I mean, you talk about late goal. It was, what, 1.4 or something?
After they had come back and all this
it
other
looked
kind
like
of
they
stuff.
were going to send the Jets out in the first round.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Blues for just a second, because it seems like they're getting worse. And not only did they lose that game against Nashville, but Luds, that is the second time in their franchise history and second time this season that they have lost a game in which they led by 4 goals. They were in October playing Detroit. They had a 4-0 lead. They lost 6-4 in that one. They had never done it in the history of the Blues franchise from 67 till now until this year, and have done it twice.
Okay, so what's rarer? Them never losing when they're up by 4, or Tampa never winning when they were up by 4?
I'm going to go with Tampa.
Because this was the first time that's
because
ever happened.
They've done it twice now this season.
Yeah.
So Tampa's the rarer one. But they have lost 9 straight road games in regulation. They are 1-6-1 in their last 8 games overall. But think about this. Last 9 road games, they have been outscored 42-17. They have not had any points. So they are a -25. Listen to these numbers. Goals for per game in these 9, 1.89 per game. Goals against, 4.67. That's not going to help. 14.3 power play, 53.6 penalty kill. They haven't won a road game since December 20th. They went to Florida and beat the Panthers 6-2. Go figure.
So here's what there's a word that players hate to be called probably the most, is when a coach or somebody tells you that you're soft. That is not that's one of the worst things that you can hear as a player, to be called soft. So I think from the standpoint when a GM comes out and talks about his team and he uses the E word, embarrassment, that's something that, and Doug Armstrong, I saw an interview with Army here a couple days ago, and he said, we're an embarrassment. And that, kind of
he
sums
said the
up,
season is an embarrassment.
Yeah, that kind of sums up where the St. Louis Blues are, especially from a guy like Doug Armstrong, who has never really flew the white flag over there. Like, we're going to surrender and we're going to start to rebuild.
The year they won the Stanley Cup, they were the worst team in the league. And, at the midway point, and we all thought they were done and dusted, and Army said, I'm not doing a fire sale. Yeah. Then they somehow find Jordan Binnington, and off he goes.
Yeah, and he's done that a couple times. He goes, the fans deserve better. And so, I think he maybe he got out in front of that by saying that from a fan standpoint. Well, our general manager has said that. So regardless, I don't know how, I'm sure the fans aren't happy there either. Nobody should be.
No. Well, the Stars have won 5 in a row. They have a chance to, again, put pressure on Minnesota. They're a game in hand with a point behind. So they're right there. It's neck and neck with the Wild. They are going to have a dogfight to see who's going to get home ice for the first round. Maybe something crazy happens and one of them catches Colorado. I don't think that's the case. But Ilya Lyubushkin returns from injury tonight, replacing Alexander Petrovic, who will be a healthy scratch. Gully said that Bischel's very close to returning. He hasn't played since November 20th, but that he will be available after the Olympic break. I actually saw Leon yesterday up in Frisco, and he said he's not going anywhere during the break because he's got to get ready for work. So I like the attitude. I like the mentality. I'm wondering if they didn't have a break, if he'd be playing.
It'll be interesting to see how he is when he comes back, because I think the other night, or maybe was it the Winter Classic game that Hedman came back? I don't know. Did you watch the whole game? Hedman didn't look good.
Most of.
Like, I just wonder, big guys.
He came back for that game.
He came back for the Olympics.
Yeah, fair.
But I watched Hedman, and I know that they dressed 7D in that game, and that's when a guy kind of want to work himself into a special event coming up. But for a big guy, Hedman's a big guy, Bischel's a big guy, and the speed of the game right now isn't you can't step into that for big guys. And that's why I've been wondering the whole time when Gully's saying, well, he's close. He might, the last 2 games of the year. When you've got this time, there's no reason to, in my opinion. I think now he gets in. But that being said, when they do start up again, we'll see how big Leon is with the pace of the game and all that kind of stuff. It is difficult for big guys. The good news is for Bischel, totally different than Hedman. Bischel is a monster that likes to hit. Hedman, not so much. He's more of a puck handling guy, and so he had some problems in that. But I just never understood it. I think it's good to give them the time off. They're in a good spot right here. Regardless how this game goes, win or lose tonight, Dallas is still good. You know what I mean? Going into the break, there's some teams that like a Chicago or like St. Louis. I mean, they just want to get this over with. You know what I mean? And
this
one
couldn't
win
come
tonight,
at a better time for them, a break.
Yeah.
But this not for the Stars.
Now, if you're Columbus, it's a little different. They want to continue to play. But for St. Louis, they just are there right now. They're going
unless something goes wild in Columbus.
Is it Minnesota? Oh,
no, not that. But that's clever. It's going to be 10-1 for the Blue Jackets since Bonus took over.
Yeah,
because they were up big already.
But they don't want to stop.
No, they don't want to stop.
I'm sure Bones doesn't want to stop.
No.
The players are looking for it.
Yeah, probably ready for those beach
But regardless,
vacations.
it's a little bit easier going to the break when they.
All right, take a look at the lines. No changes up front. Adam Ernie again in the lineup. They've loved what he's done. We talked about it at length with Ritzkovian yesterday. No crazy outfit for Justin coming in. I talked to Jake Oettinger this morning, and he said, I was going to make Ritzkovian wear one of my BU tracksuits to the game tonight. He said, but because of the shootout.
Do they know why, everybody?
So Ritzkovian went to Northeastern. Jake Oettinger played at BU. They played a semifinal game, was it 2 nights ago? I think it was Tuesday.
Was the night before he came on?
Monday night. Yesterday. So I think it was Monday. Lost in a shootout. Jake said, lame, cheesy. He goes, when I was at BU, we didn't have shootouts in the bean pot. Now they do. I don't like that. And then he goes, by the way, he goes, Ritzy's like a medium. He goes, there's no way he fits into my, Jake's 6'6". And then you think about it. Wouldn't that be better if he had to wear a 6'6" guy's tracksuit? I mean, wouldn't that be more funny?
Ritz's costume.
Wouldn't that be really funny if Ritzkovian had to wear that? Yeah. So Jake didn't feel that was right. So no.
Jake's too nice.
He's Minnesota nice. He very much is. Take a look at our lines real quick on defense. As you saw.
I don't know. Minnesota's not so nice right now.
No, they're playing hard, but they might be losing to
Nashville.
Nashville.
I meant downtown Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. So Lyubushkin in for Petro. He's back. He hasn't been playing, of course, because of injury, but he's back now. Capobianco there. Now take a look at the Blues real quick. We don't even have the line rushes from the Blues guys yet. Here's our best guess based on because of the trade, and they didn't run lines this morning. Monty said they had a bunch of game time decisions. But Dvorsky's been good, lads, and so he's up with Shen, Snuggerud. They've really liked the last couple games, Neighbors, Buchnevich, and Kyrou. So we'll see how, and Suter and Oscar Sundquist are back in the lineup.
Yeah, and you wonder the guy that we have in that shot right there, number 10, if he's going to be there when this is all over with.
Well, his dad is here today, part of the dad's trip, and I just wonder, is Braden Shen the guy that you would take for a couple more years?
Yes.
Yeah, because he can score. He's got size.
Well,
he and Jamie Benn are buds, I believe.
According to what I hear, Kyrou's on the table. Thomas is on the table.
You see the ask for Thomas is like 4 first-round picks?
I could see that. He can be a damn good player. I don't know if he's 4 first-rounders. And again, what they ask and what they get are
right. You're not going to go in there and
you might as well ask
him,
for 4 if you only want 1 or 2.
If you want 2, you're not going to ask for 2 because then you'll get 1 and something else. I want to show you the goalie matchup because, again, this is round 4 of USA-Canada this year. But look at the career records against the opponent. So Jake against the Blues, Binnington against the Stars. Binnington's win-loss record is not good. And Lud, you've talked about it before. He still plays well. But look at Jake. 8-2 in 10 career games against St. Louis. He has feasted on them because the Stars have feasted on the Blues. Yeah. This is very different in the last couple of years than when I first started with the Stars in 2014. It seemed like the Blues were the team that always, obviously in the playoffs, but they were a pain, a thorn in the side. They've been going the wrong way except for that 19.
For me, look at the save percentage, though. You know, the goal against too, but a 933. Yeah, it's just and for Binnington, he even when he's not on the right end of this things, he still seems to battle. But the Dallases, they've been able to find them late. Well, 2 in a row here? They found a couple goals. Within the last minute or so? Both last 2 games. Are you? Yeah, it was. So
Harley
Robertson
on 1
and
with a minute left, and Harley with a minute 7 left, I believe.
Yeah. Yep.
Are you surprised that they didn't give Casey a game before the break? They've been winning.
I'm kind of wondering both of those clubs. If they
Casey played over the weekend, but
I didn't know if they would play their last game, like before the Olympics start. And
Yep.
Jake plays, Binnington wants to play, and maybe the coaches came to him and asked them if they wanted to go ahead.
So the NHL has a couple of charter flights leaving on Friday from New York City.
Okay, the charter flights.
Yeah.
They're not just for one individual team.
No, it's
I don't get that.
It's like a commingled.
Yeah.
I know you don't like to commingle when you're going off to business.
I just hate
Jake
it.
Oettinger and a couple other guys. I talked to Jake about this morning. They're flying on their own dime tomorrow. You know why?
Yeah, but goalies are different.
Jake's going early because he will be able to get there in time to walk with the U.S. athletes for the opening ceremonies.
I'm just talking about the plane. It's one thing for goalies to be on there sitting with
US,
goalies.
Canada,
I
Finn.
do not like that.
Well, maybe they'll have the Finns and the Americans on one, and the Canadians and the Swedes, so you don't have the rivals next to each other or something.
I don't like it.
Well, they are all going to fly over to Italy in comfort and style, and that'll be a lot of fun. But we have one more game tonight, and it's the Stars and the Blues for the third time in 13 days. St. Louis won the first one.
Wednesday night.
Stars won the last two. You think that and you know what, Luds? Somebody in the chat about 10 minutes ago said
it's a big break coming up.
It was, Luds, I'm so glad we know what day it is based on your shirt.
I did that for the people that are on my level, just so you know the day of the week, but this is a big day. I've had this thing circled and crossed on the calendar. This is the last game before
that. Monday 1 day, Tuesday 2 day, Wednesday.
The cold weather. What is that, a weather
Thursday,
report?
That's Sam trying to get the days of the week right.
Oh, well, yeah.
But
I work for Sam too.
You can't wait for Saturday.
Well, no, I can't wait till Sunday because I'll be there by then. I'll be on the sled on Sunday afternoon.
I'm just wondering if you're going to have one foot out the door for the next 2 days. Because we have the game tonight, post game, and then we have shows Thursday, Friday. How much Luds are we going to have focused for those two shows?
Less than normal.
I bet, which is not much to begin with. Yeah. So, all right. For Craig Ludwig, our producer Ryan Vaughters, I'm Owen Newkirk. We'll be here for the post game right afterwards. So, TNT, HBO Max, check us out right after the game right here on DLLS.
I believe that they are going to crush these guys. 4-2, 15 minutes.
We all silly like the mayor.